Hello, welcome back to Fire and Water Travel Services. My name is Darren, and today we're going to do a tour of Kotor, Montenegro. We did this as a cruise port stop on our Virgin Voyages tour of the Adriatic and Greek Gems. And I tell you what, this is a pretty awesome port to stop at. I'll be right back with our tour of Kotor, Montenegro. Hello, welcome to Fire and Water Travel Services. We specialize in affordable luxury and culinary adventures with all types of travel, including cruises, all-inclusives, and any type of travel that you're looking for. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and make sure you like and subscribe and share this channel. All right, guys, so like I said, we visited Kotor on our Virgin Voyages cruise of the Adriatic, and as you can tell from this map, Kotor is kind of set back off of, it's not right on the coast. So you got to go through some pretty cool area here to get to Kotor, which all this is a mountainous region, and you're going to see in a minute just what it looks like when we get to Kotor, if you check that out. So we went through that area getting in there like really early in the morning. It was dark, so I really wasn't up to get any video, but this is us pulling into where we're going to tender. So you can tell it's very mountainous region. All these little towns and cities sit at the base of the mountains at the water, which is a really cool setup. And when we leave, we're going to show you going back out. But this is our cruise ship. We tendered into the port because our ship was too big to dock. It will dock some smaller cruise ships, but not ours. So we made it into the port of Kotor and walked around a little bit. We were waiting for our tour guide to get there. We got there earlier than our tour guide and our tour was scheduled for. So, but as you can see, if you look in here, there's some pretty cool stuff built up on the sides of these mountains, including a big long wall, church buildings, all kinds of different stuff up there. And there is a walking trail and steps that you can take to go up there, but I wasn't in the mood to do that with my bad knee and bad back. So we chose to stay down into the old town of Kotor, which was pretty cool in and of itself. But there's also some other cool stuff that you can see just by walking around and looking and focusing in on what's up on the hill up there. But one of the things you can also do is they have this cable car that kind of goes up. If you get up to the top of the mountain, you can go back and forth here and see some really good sights. We didn't do that either, but it looks like there's some pretty good sights with that. So like I said, we decided to just walk around the old town city of Kotor, which, just like the other two videos I've done of Dubrovnik and Split, Croatia, it's set up, like a medieval walled city. And just like those other Split and Dubrovnik, Croatia, this was actually occupied by the Venetians at one time, so that's why they look so similar and have these same type of streets as you would see in Venice. So tight walking streets made of stone. These buildings all have little shops and apartments and all that in them as well. But one of the things that I really loved is these stone steps, and these lead up back to some apartments. So you got some residential property still here in the old town of Kotor that's still being used, and just fascinating. Some of these little stairways have been there for thousands of years, and they're still being used. The stonework was awesome. Just really cool little architecture all around the city. I really liked visiting this whole area. Now, Kotor also had a number of different hostels there where you got a lot of students that are traveling around backpacking that stay here. I think there was two of them right next to each other here right on this street. They also have these squares, like most of the medieval type cities like this, that they have these little street alleyways and then they all dump into a big square, and you either had a marketplace or you had these big cafes or restaurants, different shops and all that. But really cool to just walk around and take in the different atmosphere. It kept it actually pretty cool as well, even though it was over 90 degrees here. the day we were here. It felt pretty cool because we were in the shade a lot of time walking through those very narrow alleyways and streets. But just like the other cities we visited in this area, the architecture was one of the things that amazed me. Some of these buildings are thousands of years old. They're still being used. They're still kept up very well. They've held up very well. And it's just amazing to me that these walls are still standing. You could do a wall tour of this city as well. We decided not to do that. It was not quite as big as Dubrovnik, but still, we did enough climbing in the last few days. But as you can tell, this is another shot. This old clock actually still works. I think that was the clock was about 400 years old, and they still have a guy that works on that clock, believe it or not, and it's a family affair. He trained his son how to do it, and they do that with the whole family. So looking up the mountain, you can see the staircase and the wall and the church and the other buildings up there. We decided not to do that. We did take a break and got some local prosciutto and cheeses and tapenade, which was really good. Local vegetables as well, the tomatoes, pretty awesome. We did stop in this old church that's hundreds and hundreds of years old, and you can tell this hand-carved wooden doors on the front. I really had to take a picture of that because those were hand-carved. So this old church here in Kotor was amazingly well kept, still being used today for services as well, but a lot of history, I guess, goes back thousands of years in this actual building, and it's kept up to date, and they've updated it with the lighting and all that to make it more modern. But very awesome old church building for sure. We really enjoyed it. Lots of different art and just the antiquities that were in it was really fascinating to us, and we really enjoyed spending some time in this old church as well. Again, guys, I really love these medieval towns that we were able to visit on our cruise here in the Adriatic and Greek Gems on Virgin Voyages. This again was another one of those squares. It had a big cafe and a lot of different shops. And to me, just these shops that are in these buildings that are thousands of years old that are still operating, and they've modernized them to where they could actually use them for commerce today is just amazing to me. And they've kept a lot of the buildings intact, and they've kept them up over the years. It's just amazing to see and awesome to visit. I really enjoyed our time in Kotor for sure. And next time I'm really going to try to make sure I can get up to that, do the climb up those stairs. It's supposed to be 10,000 steps up that way, and but it looks like there's some great views from that area. But we had a great time just walking around the old city, seeing all the different architecture and the sites, and just all the different sites that we could see here. So after spending about 4 hours walking around Kotor, it was time to get back on our tender boat to get back to the Virgin Voyages Resilient Lady ship and get ready for dinner. But I really was excited to take some pictures on the way out back to the Adriatic Sea because I didn't get them in the morning. But after we got all dressed and showered and ready for dinner, we went back out on the deck and just watched as we pulled back out through all the various channels and waterways to get back out to the Adriatic Sea, and seeing all these different little towns and cities sitting right on the edge of the water with the mountains behind them was actually a really cool sight to see. And we spent a good almost hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes going out that way, but we got to see some pretty cool sights. Like I said, if you're ever taking a cruise that hits this port, it's really something to see, and make sure you get plenty of pictures because there's some things you'll never see anywhere else. These cool little islands that had these little churches and buildings on them were just really something to see. just sitting out there in the middle of the water. And it's amazing. You see this little restaurant that's right here at the bottom of this mountain, sitting right out at the sea. There was a lot of people there for dinner. We could tell when we were going by on the ship. So just a real awesome area, and I'm really glad we got to take some pictures going out this way. It would have been cool to see it in the morning, but it was just as cool to see it going out. Like I said, this was all the mountains all around you when you're in your big cruise ship going through all these little different channels and waterways. Was a pretty cool sight to see. Lots of different yachts and other ships. There was little boats going around us all over the place, waving at us. But this was the Scarlet Night for Virgin Voyages, so we got all dressed up in our red so we could go participate in the Scarlet Night festivities on the Virgin Voyages Resilient Lady. But we had a super great time at Kotor, Montenegro. Well, check us out, guys. Make sure you give us a call or email or text us if you are looking for any kind of travel, cruises, all-inclusives. We do it all at Fire and Water Travel Services. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you again on the next Fire and Water travel video.